All right, everybody, good evening. Welcome to today's webinar. My name is Jerry D'Ambrosio. Hope you guys are doing well. There we go. William says hello. You got to beat me to the punch. Just want to do a quick sound check, guys, before I really kick things off, just to make sure everybody can hear me okay. Valerio, welcomed. Hello, how are you? I do want to welcome everybody joining us via YouTube as well. So really nice turnout here today. Today, guys, it's 6 o'clock here on the East Coast. Hopefully you guys have eaten dinner, kicking your feet up, and are ready for a great webinar. Let's get started. So a couple of things I would ask of you guys first before we really dive in. We call them the three gets. Number one, grab a pen and a piece of paper. Of course, if you want something to drink, you can do that, but I am going to ask for some participation in a little bit. So if somebody can grab a pen and a piece of paper, that would be great. You can, of course, take notes if you'd want as well. Number two, get rid of any distractions. This is really important. I know it's late it's in the evening, you're probably home, family's home. What I like to do is just let everybody know. Anytime I listen to a webinar, just kind of let everybody know I'll be indisposed of for the hour. I try to keep my cell phone away from arm's length, because when I listen to a webinar, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to learn. Hopefully you guys are as well. This is going to be a really educational 60 minutes. And I want to commend you guys for being here, taking time out of your evening to join me here today. So this is what we're going to learn. You're going to learn 5 common principles professional traders follow. I'm going to teach you an extremely easy and effective short-term trading strategy, and I really emphasize short-term. Okay, this is not a retirement-minded webinar. This is for for swing traders. When I say short-term, I'm talking a couple of days at the most. And then finally, how to quickly and easily identify the best trades. And if you guys stick with me to the end, we're going to be together an hour. And if you stick with me to the end, I will give you a copy of today's slides. Just somebody remind me at the end, about 6:50 Eastern time, 50 minutes or so from now, while right as I'm wrapping things up. Just say, hey, Jerry, don't forget the slides, and I will put them in the handout section of your GoToMeeting control panel. By the way, Ray Clark is in the background. If you guys have any questions, feel free to shoot them in the chat box. Ray will answer them. I'll try to touch on some as I go, but I will save some time at the very end to answer some of the more common questions. But if you have a question you feel like you really need an answer, shoot it in the chat box. Ray will be there to answer the questions, okay? All right, so let's start off by talking about what makes a pro a pro. So what are the qualities that separates these men and women from the average retail investor? And this segment here is all about getting you guys in the right mindset. What I mean by that is, I just said a few seconds ago, this isn't your buy and hold retirement approach, okay? This is for the capital that you have set aside to trade a little bit more actively. We hope you guys are doing that. We really suggest you guys to do that. You're diversified. You have your retirement portfolio. That portfolio holds your core holdings, right? Those positions are managed in a certain way. You pay very close attention to valuation, to earnings, relative safety. Those type of factors will help you determine how long you hold on to an investment for. Okay. You might have money set aside to trade options. We have some great option courses here. So you might have a few bucks, or a portion of your overall investment capital set aside to trade options. And then there's what we're going to talk about today. Short-term swing trading. You may hold on to positions. Now, the system I'm going to teach you here today, you'll see, really you're only going to hold on to positions for a couple of days. In fact, the average holding period for the system that I'm going to show you is 2 to 5 days. But in general, when you're swing trading, you're looking to hold the position for a few days to a few weeks. Now that's quite different than your retirement account, right? So what are the qualities? Well, first, a professional trader is realistic. They know that there's no magic pill that they can take that will make them better traders overnight. They didn't get to where they are now, um, you know, uh, overnight. Didn't happen overnight. Success in this industry and any industry comes with time and effort. Just ask anybody who's ever gotten to the top of their fields, right? So you're talking about CEOs of a company, professional athletes, uh, foremen on a construction site. They weren't just handed the position. They put the work in, they put the effort in, and it didn't happen overnight. You guys aren't going to become millionaires overnight. I hate to break it to you, but it's going to come with time and effort. So a professional trader understands this. They understand that it's going to take time and it's going to take effort, and it's not going to happen overnight. Next is that they control their emotions. This is the tough part for everybody. This is easier said than done, right? They don't allow losing trades to affect them. Pros don't think of the money first. They think about, or they focus on doing the right things and making the right trades. They know if they do that, the money will follow. And this is really uh, what might be holding some of you back. Getting frustrated over a cluster of losing trades. A cluster of losing trades. What I mean by cluster is, 3, 4, 5, maybe sometimes 6 in a row. That's gonna happen. Okay. What you can't do is um, allow emotions to affect the way you rebound and carry over to the next trade and to the next trade. I'll use a poker term. I don't know if you guys ever play poker or know the term, to go on tilt. If a poker player goes on tilt, his game is pretty much over. He will continue to make bad decision after bad decision, hand after hand. So if you keep getting discouraged over losing trades and allow emotion to get in the way, it's going to affect you. It's going to snowball you from there, and game over pretty much. Okay. One of the reasons that they feel this way, one of the reasons why they uh, do a better job of not allowing emotions to control their decision making is because they place trades based on facts and data rather than gut feelings. And we've all been there. I've been with VectorVest now going on 15 years. Earlier in my career, just learning the VectorVest system, just learning the stock market in general. Never traded stocks before I started working with VectorVest. I would place trades, I would buy stocks just because I thought they were going to go up, right? You had that feeling. Pros don't think that way. They don't buy stocks because their Uncle George or somebody at work told them, hey, go buy this stock. I got a good tip on this one, or I got a feeling on this one. They don't do any of that nonsense. They place trades because of the information that's in front of them. They look solely at that to make their decisions. I love this slide. Number 4 is they're prepared. They know exactly when they're going to get out of a trade even before getting in. And the reason why I love this slide is because when you get on a plane, what's the first thing that the flight attendants do before taking off, right? You're basically taxiing out of the gate. You're on the runway. They talk you through how to get off the plane. You haven't even taken off yet, but they make sure you understand if something goes wrong, how are you going to get off the plane? And when trading, that's extremely important. Can you say that? Can you say to yourself, with every trade that you place, I know exactly when I'm going to get out? If you can, great. But if you struggle with that, you're definitely in the right place. And the reason why they know exactly when they're going to get out is because they've examined and tested different techniques to figure out which one is best. It's not just an arbitrary, I'll get out at this price here. They look at a chart, I'll get out here. It's not arbitrary. It's systematic, and it's based on the mechanics and the rules that they've developed over years sometimes. And lastly, and most importantly, I think professional traders are disciplined. They stay sharp and focused when things are going well, and they're resilient when they're not going so well. This kind of goes back to, I think it was number 2, where retail traders, have a hard time controlling their emotions. Pros do a much better job at it because they're disciplined. They kind of have, they're kind of wired a little differently in terms of sticking to a plan, uh, not reacting in a negative way to losing trades, and not getting overly excited over winning trades, right? Um, so they kind of stay even keeled. Now, if you're someone that struggles with one or more of those things, what happens if you continue to struggle with those things? Well, you're going to go broke. Now, the money that you're setting aside to trade like this, to swing trade, it's going to evaporate pretty quickly because losses are just going to keep building up and building up. You're going to wind up with no more money to invest. I'm not saying you're going to go broke. You're going to be living on the street. You're going to ruin your family. I'm not saying that at all. But the money that you have set aside to trade a little bit more actively will be gone quickly because there's so much turnover, right? When you trade more actively, basically you're trying to capture quick gains, but cut your losses early. If you have a hard time cutting your losses early, it's going to become a problem. You'll see your account kind of just diminish, very, very quickly. If you correct some of those things, if you focus on some of those things and say, okay, I don't have a plan. I don't know exactly when I'm going to get out of a trade. I'm going to start focusing on that. Or, boy, I sure get really frustrated and, ticked off when I have a series of losing trades. Understand that, know who you are, and then start correcting those things. And if you start doing things the right way, you'll know exactly what you're doing no matter the situation. I know the market's been really tough over the last couple of weeks, but nothing that the market throws at you other than just maddening volatility. That's just really tough for anybody. And that's kind of what we've been seeing over the last couple of weeks. Downtrends are one thing, but violent crashes followed by explosive rallies, followed by violent crashes again. It's just really tough for anybody to kind of maneuver through. But again, you have a plan, and you're going to stick to that plan no matter what the market throws at you. You're going to start seeing consistent gains. Once you start develop, only when you start to develop better habits, though. There's a big mistake traders make, new traders who are first starting out trying to implement short-term trading systems. They follow unproven, complicated strategies. They feel like they have to use 5 different technical analysis indicators, 3 different types of moving averages. They'll throw Bollinger Bands and envelopes on the chart because they think all of these indicators will solidify a solid plan, and they'll know exactly when to get in, exactly when to get out, and they found the Holy Grail. For some reason, new traders who are just starting out trading like this, they find value in complexity. It actually will do quite the opposite. It'll lead to confusion and frustration. Confusion because you may be using 2 indicators that tell you the same thing. Stochastics and RSI, for example. You may be using 2 indicators that tell you entirely different information, and you're getting conflicting signals. So you're going to get frustrated if you try to implement overly complex system using more indicators than you actually need. What I want to show you tonight is called the RSI-2 trading system. It was developed by Larry Connors. You may have heard of Larry Connors. He's an author. He's written a lot of books on trading. He's a trader. He's a speaker. He has over 30 years in the financial markets industry. This strategy focuses on stocks in long-term uptrends, but are experiencing short-term corrections. Okay, so what exactly does that mean? How has he defined it? You can say that on its face and kind of be like, wow, what does that really mean? Long-term uptrends, but are experiencing short-term corrections. That's rather vague, right? But don't worry, he defines it very clearly, and I will here as well. And what I love about this system is it uses 3 indicators, not 5, not 7. It uses 3 indicators. A 200-day simple moving average to identify the long-term trend. So if price is above the 200-day moving average, the stock is in a long-term uptrend. He uses a 5-day simple moving average and the 2-period RSI. RSI stands for Relative Strength Index, to identify the short-term trend, the short-term correction. Both of those first 2 moving averages, the 200 and the 5-day, are simple moving averages. And we are going to be looking, guys, at daily price charts, not intraday, not weekly. Therefore, the RSI indicator is a 2-day RSI. It's a 2-day look back. Okay? So let me show you how this strategy works. Here we're looking at Procter & Gamble. Now this is from November of 18 to November of 19. Don't worry about why I went back so far. I'll explain why I went back this far in a little bit, and we'll talk about some more recent examples with this stock in a moment. Okay? Great stock, right? From this, on the time frame that we're looking at here, great stock. Stock goes from bottom left to upper right. The whole time here, from November of 18 to November of 19, the stock stayed above its 200-day simple moving average. So it's in a long-term uptrend. I know the stock pulls back from time to time. And when it does, and when it falls below the 5-day simple moving average, that's the white line running through price, that's the 5-day simple moving average. That identifies a short-term correction. Long-term uptrend, short-term correction. So the added layer to the system is using the RSI. Relative Strength Index is scaled between 0 and 100. Now the industry standard look back period is 14. So if you're looking at a daily chart, it's a 14-day look back. If you're looking at a weekly chart, it's a 14-week look back. We're looking at a daily chart here. So it oscillates between 0 and 100. The industry standard look back period is 14, with the lower level at 30 and the upper level at 70. When it's below 30, it's considered oversold. When it's above 70, it's considered overbought. And you can plot this on any stock over time. You can see the RSI movement. Now, I had to actually go back. So the graph we were looking at previously, it was from November of 18. Follow my mouse, from November of 18 to November of 19. And if you notice, the 14-period RSI never crossed below 30. So I had to go back a little bit. And the 14-period RSI crossed below 30 here in October, giving us a good signal. You could see it was a great buying opportunity. Okay, now the 14-period RSI is not the indicator that's used in this trading system. I just wanted to introduce the I wanted to introduce RSI in its industry standard form, so that you understood that even with this stock in a nice uptrend, the industry standard 14-period RSI didn't give us a signal, right? It didn't give us a buy signal. So what Larry Connors did was he sped up the indicator. In other words, he changed the look back period from 14 to 2. And when he did that, he also lowered the extreme lower level from 30 to 10. Okay, from 30 to 10. So here's our trading plan. Here's the system. Ready? Price above the 200-day moving average, long-term uptrend, but below the 5-day simple moving average and the 2-period RSI below 10, short-term correction. Above the 200-day moving average, long-term uptrend, but has pulled back, fallen below the 5-day moving average, and, not or, and the 2-period RSI falling below 10, short-term correction. Let's take a look at what this trading plan looks like written down. Okay, ready? Here are our entry rules. We are going to buy only when the stock is above the 200-day simple moving average and below the 5-day simple moving average with the 2-period RSI below 10, and we are going to enter near the close of the session, near the close of the day. And when I trade this system, I'm entering at about 3:55 p.m. Eastern time. I'm putting a market order in. Volume late in the day is rather heavy, so I'm not worrying too much about slippage or large bid-ask prices. Putting a market order in, I want to get in. Why do I put a market order in instead of a limit order in? Is because I want to get into the trade before the close of the day, and there's a chance with a limit order you might not get filled. Okay? Here's our exit criteria, and I emphasize, and I want you guys to understand it, that it says exit criteria, not stop loss. Because Larry Connors developed this system not using stop losses. It's an exit criteria. So we are going to exit no matter what when price goes above the 5-day simple moving average. Remember, we're entering when it's below it, right? We are going to exit when it goes above it, and we are going to exit near the close of that day. So that could be 350, 355. You see price about to close above the 5-day moving average, you get out. You put a market order in and you exit the trade. Now let's take a look at some examples. Obviously, we were going to do that, right? So here we're looking at Procter & Gamble. Now, the date that you see there is July 23rd of 2019. Do you guys remember a few charts ago where we saw Procter & Gamble over the course of that 1-year period from November of 18 to November of 19, right? And we recognized that the price of the stock was above the 200-day moving average for the entire time. So we don't have to worry about that. We know, because the reason why I'm saying that is because when I zoom in here, notice we lose that purple line, right? We don't have the 200-day moving average on the chart. But just know from a few charts ago that price is above the 200-day moving average, and that's one of the criteria for the RSI2 system. So on July 23rd, 2019, we have a setup. We have a trade. Price is above the 200-day moving average, but about to close below the 5-day moving average, and the 2-period RSI dipped below 10, right near the close of the session. How do I know this is the close? The bottom of the body is the close and not the top of the body. Well, that's because it's a filled candle. It's a solid candle, right? Filled, you have some unfilled candles here. So it's a filled candle, which means that the close was at the bottom of the body and the open was at the top of the body. These unfilled candles mean that the close was at the top of the body and the open was at the bottom of the body. Okay? So on July 23rd, 2019, we have a trade. And for the purposes here, I am going to use the closing price as our entry price on that day, because I don't know what the price of Procter & Gamble was at 3:55 p.m. Eastern Time on July 23rd of 2019. So we're going to use the close. And the great thing about trading these days is you don't have to worry about accounting for commission anymore. A lot of brokerages, a lot of brokerage houses aren't charging commissions for online trades. Schwab, TD Ameritrade, and a few others. I think Fidelity is the same. They're not charging commissions for online trades, so you don't have to worry about that. And we're getting in so close to the close, you don't have to worry about too much slippage. So again, for the purposes here, I'm going to use the close as our entry price. We get in at 113.85. We exit 3 days later at 114.73. Why are we exiting that day? Because on that day, that's July 26th of 2019, price is about to close above the 5-day simple moving average. It opened below it, rose above it during the day, and closed above it, and we are going to exit. We're going to put a market order in at 3:55 p.m. Eastern Time and get out of the trade, and that's a winning trade. Now, in a little bit, I am going to show you how you can very quickly and easily identify these setups using a scan that would be in the VectorVest program. Okay? You don't necessarily have to go through chart after chart. I'm going to show you a very quick and easy way that you can scan for these setups. Okay? So that's a winning trade. Remember earlier I told you guys somebody get out a pen and a piece of paper? Somebody do that now, because I want you to tally wins and losses. Winning trades and losing trades. So far so good, right? That's a winning trade. The very next day we have another setup. Okay? And On July 24th, price of the stock is still above the 200-day moving average, but about to close below the 5-day moving average and the 2-period RSI below 10. Now, if you bought it the day before, I'm not telling you you should buy more the next day. You could, but that's not really how the system works. What I'm saying is if you didn't buy it the day before, you have an opportunity, or you had an opportunity to buy it on July 24th of 19 because the rules were true, because the rules were met. Okay, now the day before, maybe you didn't have buying power freed up, or you weren't watching the market, or you're on vacation, or whatever the case may be. But the next day you had another setup. So what I'm showing you here, and what I will continue to show you, is setups, is every single RSI2 setup, every single RSI2 opportunity from July 23rd. We're going to continue to move forward in a little bit. Okay, so if I buy it at 113.15, I'll sell it a couple of days later at 114.73. I know it's not a home run. We're not looking for home runs here. We're looking for singles after single after single after single. Okay, so we sell it at 114.73. That's another winning trade. And I'm moving from left to right. I am not cherry picking dates. I'm not skipping over dates. The very next setup after the July 24th of 19 setup was August 5th. Price of the stock still above the 200-day moving average, but you can see it's pulled back. It's fallen below the 5-day moving average, and it's about to close below the 5-day moving average and the 2-period RSI below 10. Notice I'm not telling you that there was a setup the day before, even though price closed below the 5-day moving average. Why not? Because the 2-period RSI did not dip below 10. All three have to be true. So we buy near the close of that session at 113.08, and we sell it 2 days later at 115.52. Price is about to close above the 5-day moving average, so we exit. That's another winning trade. The very next setup was a month later, right? What was that? Yeah, August 5th was that one. The very next one was September 10th. Okay, again, I'm not skipping over any setups. I'm showing you each and every one. So on September 10, 2019, price of the stock is still above the 200-day moving average. We know it's still in a long-term uptrend, but it's pulled back over this time period here, beginning of September of 19. Price of the stock is below the 5-day moving average and about to close below it, and the 2-period RSI below 10. We buy it at roughly 119.88. We sell it for a really nice gain there 2 days later, right? Price gaps up, closes above the 5-day moving average. We sell it for 122.77. That's another winning trade. So far we've gotten, I think, 4, right? 4 winning trades, no losing trades so far. October 2nd, 2019, that was the next setup. Okay, and you know, this is not a system that you would trade the same stock multiple times a week. I know you might have thought that because of how fast the signal is, but it's not the case. I'll explain in a moment how many RSI2 setups there have been in the last 2 years. Okay, but it's not it's not multiple trades a week. Very unlikely that you'll be doing multiple trades a week. So on October 2nd, you got another setup. Price is still above the 200-day moving average, but it's pulled back. It's fallen below the 5-day moving average, the 2-period RSI below 10. We buy it near the close of that day at 121.08. We sell it 2 days later at another nice gain, $124 even. Price opened below the 5-day moving average, crossed above it during the day. We don't just sell it because it crosses above it during the day. We wait for it to close. Best case scenario here, it closes right off of the high of the session, and you got yourself a really nice winning trade there. So that's another win. I think that's 5. 5 wins, 1 loss. I'm sorry, 5 wins, no losses. So here, October 14th, we got another setup. We didn't have a setup the day before that, nor did we have one the day before that, even though price closed below the 5-day moving average, because the 2-period RSI was not low enough. It was not in that extremely short-term oversold condition, but it was on October 14th. 2-period RSI below 10, Price about to close below the 5-day moving average. We know it's still above the 200-day moving average, so we buy it at 120.05. Remember earlier, guys, I said exit criteria, not stop loss. Because what happens here over the next couple of days, the stock falls. It's not a stop loss. It's an exit criteria. No matter what happens, you will exit the trade when price is about to close above the 5-day moving average. In this case, that resulted in a losing trade, right? We buy it at 120.05, we sell it at 119.08. That's a losing trade. So I don't want you guys to get into the, get to the idea where it's a stop loss, because Larry Connors developed this system and didn't use stop losses. He developed it using this exit criteria, which is very systematic. Remember, one of the things traders struggle with, and I touched on this earlier, is when to get out before getting in. With this system, you know exactly when you're going to get out, even before you're going to get in. Very, very rules driven. There's no arbitrary, I'll get out if it goes down a few bucks or anything like that. Okay? Question is, how do you size your position if you don't use a stop loss? So you put the same amount of money into each position. So if let's say you have 50 grand and you want to hold 5 stocks, you put 10,000 into each position so that no one stock, no one loss will kind of just blow up your portfolio if you put the same amount of money into each position. That's how you size your positions. Same amount, not the same amount of shares. It's the same amount of money into each position. So the very next day, we have another setup. So again, I'm not saying buy more of it. You could, but that's not how the system works. October 15th, price is still above the 200-day moving average, but below the 5-day moving average and the 2-period RSI below 10. We enter near the close of the session at 117.20. If we bought it that day and not the day before, we still exit the same day. Price closes above the 5-day moving average on October 21st. We sell it at 119.08. That's a winning setup. And then a couple of days later, we have another setup. We buy it at 116.63. We sell it 2 days later at 119.08. That's another winning setup. Okay. Now, so earlier I asked you guys to take out a pen and a piece of paper. That was about 6 or 7 wins to 1 loss, right? 6 or 7 wins to 1 loss. And again, in a second here, I'm going to show you how you'll be able to quickly and easily identify these setups. So I went into this webcast thinking, all right, seven examples I don't think is going to convince them or drive home the efficacy of this system. So what I did is I decided to continue that analysis. So from November of 2018 all the way to current, that's almost 2 years. For Procter & Gamble, there were 28 RSI-2 setups. So let's just kind of round it up to 2 years. We're almost there, right? Round it up to 2 years. That's 14 trades a year. That's about 1 a month-ish, little less than 1 a month. Okay, not too bad. There were 28 RSI-2 setups over this 2-year period. There were 25 winning trades and 3 losing trades. That's an 89% winning trade percentage. And one of those losses I actually showed you. I think it was in October of 2019. 25 winning trades and 3 losing trades on that one stock over a 2-year period, 89% winning trade percentage. So what are the characteristics of that stock? And therefore, if you know the characteristics of that one stock, that's what you should focus on with this system. Well, the stock goes from bottom left to upper right. It's above its 200-day moving average, extremely important. but crosses below the 5-day moving average and the 2-period RSI below 10. So here's Procter & Gamble, and basically the hard right edge is current. And I said that this stock over that 2-year period, which includes this sample set that you see here, had 25 winners and 3 losers. You're probably wondering, well, that can't be right. There must have been a ton of losing trades in this area here, right? Well, no, there weren't a ton of losing trades because there weren't any trades at all. Price was below the 200-day moving average, which told us that the stock was in a long-term downtrend. So we didn't take any trades, even though price went below the 5-day moving average and the 2-period RSI dipped below 10 a number of times during that period. Price was below the 5-day moving average for, from February to July. So you didn't trade. You don't trade in that environment. Recently, we had a couple of trades here. Procter & Gamble, as you can see, above the 200-day moving average, but fell below the 5-day moving average. The 2-period RSI fell below 10. That was a winning trade here. And recently, actually, let me show you another winning trade. Because as of that hard right edge, I didn't have all this data here. Basically, the hard right edge, guys, was here. On that slide that I was just on, that was the hard right edge. But on that day, price was above the 200-day moving average, but about to close below, would close below the 5-day moving average, and the 2-period RSI dipped below 10. We buy it at roughly 136.71. We sell it the next day at 137.96 because price closed above the 5-day moving average. So in fact, we're going to add another winning trade to my results. So instead of 25 and 3, it was 26 and 3. Okay? Now, the portfolio that you're looking at here is a trading system that I came up with, which centers around the same RSI2 stock selection or entry system that I just taught you. What was that? Let me repeat. Price above the 200-day moving average, but below the 5-day moving average, and the 2-period RSI below 10. This system buys stocks that meet that criteria or those criterion at the close of any given session. The difference here is the exit criteria. It's a subtle variation to the exit criteria, and the only reason that that it's not, or I didn't use price closing above the 5-day moving average, is because within the confines of the VectorVest system, we don't have that. We don't have a way to automate that. So from February of 2010 all the way to current, now that's 2 days ago, September 21st. This portfolio, this trading system, again, that centers around the RSI2 system is up 586%, while the market has gone up 118%. Over the 10-year period, there have been 207 winning trades and 15 losing trades. That's a 93% winning trade percentage. Now, look, I know that there have been some pullbacks along the way, and recently, obviously, the coronavirus outbreak really caused the market to crash here in February and March, and you saw that the portfolio drew down quite a bit, but it eventually made new highs, as you can see. Now, VectorVest subscribers, if you're a VectorVest subscriber, you knew the type of guidance that we were giving in February of this year. And you could have closed all your positions, or at least, at the very least, reduce your exposure and been able to reduce that drawdown a little bit. This system didn't do that because it's just completely automated. And again, as you can see, it eventually made new highs again, and we're just off of its all-time high recently. I know, because I wanted to point that out, because I know you're seeing this drawdown and you're like, ugh, I don't know if I'd be able to live through that. And I get that, and there have been times where it's been pretty rough, but eventually the portfolio is so good, the trading system is so good, that it just continues to make new highs. But again, I want to reiterate that in February of 2020, when the coronavirus outbreak kind of destroyed the market, there were opportunities for you to reduce your exposure if you wanted to. There were times that you could go into cash and possibly have reduced that drawdown a little bit. Okay? Now, you're probably thinking, that looks pretty good. That's a system that I've never seen before. I've never, you guys, if you're a VectorVest subscriber, hopefully you use the back tester, right? And you try to create these automated trading systems. And you've never come close to 93% winning trades over a 10-year period. So you're probably thinking, wow, that's pretty good. But I don't have time to look at all these charts day after day after day. If I'm supposed to enter near the close, how am I going to do that? I'm going to spend a lot of time. I'm going to try to find a handful of candidates. It's going to take me all day. Well, what I'm about to tell you eliminates all of that time. No matter what we teach you here at VectorVest, we want you to be able to do it faster, smarter, and better. So I'm going to take a few guesses as to why you guys are here today. Now, you knew that this webinar was called How to Trade Like the Pros. So I'm guessing that you thought you were probably going to learn techniques from professional traders, right? Or at least, very, very effective systems. And you did today. You're here because you want to take emotion out of your trading. And for a lot of you, this right here might be holding you back. You might be good stock pickers, right? You're all smart individuals. You're good stock pickers, but you get in your own way, meaning you just allow these losing trades to affect you in a way that professional traders don't. And it's what's holding you back. You're here because you want more confidence. You want to go into each and every trading session knowing exactly what you're doing, no matter the situation. And maybe you're not where you want to be right now. So maybe the obvious question is, all right, I'm interested. This is interesting. You're right. I'm not where I want to be. I do let emotions get in my way. How can I start to change these things and take my game to the next level? Well, you have a choice. You could do it by yourself, maybe take bits and pieces of what I taught you here today, or we can just give you the answers. So that's why we put together this 6-session webcast series where we teach you techniques from 3 of the very best professional traders in the industry. I taught you one today. RSI 2 system by Larry Connors. Our Trade Like a Pro 6-session webcast series teaches you techniques from the 3 of the very best professional traders in the industry. You'll learn top trading strategies of the pros and how to quickly and easily identify the best trades. I hope you saw that if you learn to implement strategies like the one I showed you today, you'll achieve the success that you're looking for. Now, this is Hugh. I remember Hugh from a couple of courses ago. He sent me an email right after the course was over. And he said, I'm a retired financial services executive, so I had to unlearn what the, quote, street teaches to start making money. Before taking the Trade Like a Pro course, I found it was difficult to stick with a system because there were too many variables. I never could achieve the short-term trading success I sought. After taking the course, I began to see results right away. I now have a successful approach, and I'm much more disciplined with my trading. Okay, so let's go through really quickly here the modules. This is a 6-module course, and all of the modules are pre-recorded, and they are located in our new VectorVest University. Hopefully you guys have gotten familiar with that new university. It's basically on demand, right? So you take a course, and in previous courses that you may have taken, remember in Digital Chalk where we would leak out 1 module a week, and you'd have to wait 6 weeks to watch the 6th module. It's totally different here with our new university. It's like Netflix because it's all on demand. You can binge watch everything, as much as you want. So let me talk about the modules, and I'll explain that more in a moment. So first module, we get you in the correct mindset. We talk a little bit more about how the pros think. We go through risk management tactics, and a really important part of this module is order entry. Then we get into trading systems, trading techniques. We teach you a couple of different bullish and bearish candlestick reversal patterns. I love candlestick reversal patterns. I just bought actually two stocks the other day, RNG and Kroger. One was a hammer, confirmed beautifully the next day. The other was a bullish harami. Both winning trades so far. A couple of really good candlestick pattern trades that I've traded over the last couple of days. So far so good. So I love candlestick signals because they recognize turning points. They're not trend following or trend indicators. They're reversal patterns. We teach you the correct indicator to use, and then how do you know that you got it right? How do you know that you're in the right trade? Module number 3, we teach you the different types of markets, because not all markets are the same. There are trending markets, channeling markets, and extreme situations. We teach you how to recognize those situations and which indicator to use for each type of market. Okay. In the 4th module, we get into our first professional trader technique, excuse me. And it's a system called the Holy Grail for both long positions and short positions. And Steve Chappell will come in and teach you these systems developed by Linda Ratchke. Very short-term system, but very, very effective. I'll come in and talk about in Module 5, two systems called the 50-50 strategy and the other called 80 excellence. These are a little bit more intermediate term, meaning maybe you'll hold on to a position longer than a few weeks. Just depends on if your exit criteria is met or not. And a guy by the name of Charles Schaff developed those systems. And then finally in Module 6, this is the highlight of the course, we'll talk more about the RSI2 trading system and a system for trading ETFs called the RSI25. So if you guys have been looking for a system for ETFs, this is a really good one that trades both bullish and bearish ETFs. Now, as a special bonus, we're going to give you this Master the Art of Candlestick Analysis 6-session webcast series. These are all pre-recorded modules, pre-recorded mastery sessions, and you get a live trading session here as well. Now, we sell this separately for $995. You can buy it in the VectorVest University for $995, but we're going to give it to you as a special bonus for taking the Trade Like a Pro course. Now, I told you that all 6 modules that I just explained are pre-recorded. However, for you folks, we will be offering 6 live mastery support sessions. Now, I'll go over the dates of these sessions in a moment, but these are great because they help you learn what to help you implement what you've learned in the course. We're going to give you guys homework assignments after each module. We'll go over those homework assignments. We'll answer questions that you have. We'll guide you through this entire process. And what I love about these mastery sessions is we take a look during each session, we take a look at the market that day. You know, in the modules, we go through historical examples. We teach you the techniques using historical examples, okay? In the mastery sessions, we go through real life, real time setups, okay? It's one of the things I love about these mastery sessions, and that's something Steve and I have been doing a lot with those sessions, you know, over the last 3 courses or so. Now, if you don't currently have VectorVest real time, we're going to give you 60 days access to it for free. Part of the course, if you have our intraday version, if you have our end of day version, if you're not a VectorVest subscriber, you're going to get 60 days access to VectorVest real time included, okay? And then another bonus is a live trading session. This is essentially module 7. There are 6 core modules, and this session is the week after the 6th module. And this is a bonus session. This is a live trading session where we implement what we've learned over the course of the 6 weeks. So we're going to be wrapping everything up. We're going to step you through everything from market analysis. What's the market doing? Are we bullish? Are we bearish? To trade setup, to trade execution. Everything from start to finish. And I said earlier, as I was going through the RSI2 examples, a couple of you guys were asking, well, how you know, are there scans within VectorVest, or how can I find, you know, these trades? Exclusively for workshop attendees, you will receive pre-built scans that make finding these setups a breeze. You were thinking, okay, well, they're going to teach us this stuff, right? How on earth are we going to find stocks? Well, the legwork has already been done for you. I built these scans to quickly and easily find the best candidates. And the beauty of this is they're going to be inserted into your program. You don't have to build them yourselves. Okay? And then finally, you all who sign up for the Trade Like a Pro course will receive this trading system, this automated trading system that centers around the RSI2 system. Again, there's a different variable here. There's a different component, and it's the exit criteria. But you will get that exit criteria. You will get all of the other variables that a trading system includes. Remember, over this 10-year period, the system is up 586%. Well, the overall market's gone up. It's gone up 118%, but the winning percentage here is unlike anything I've ever seen. 93% winning trades, 207 winners, 15 losers. You all will get this trading system as well. Most importantly, you're going to get as close to hands-on trading as possible by myself and Steve. You know, this is a virtual webcast series, so I'm not in front of you or in front of your computer, but we're going to be with you guys every step of the way. Now, normally, the regular price for this course is $29.95. Our early bird rate is still available, okay? And that's $24.95. However, for you guys that are on this webinar or listening to this webinar right now, I'm going to knock an extra $200 off. So if you register before the webcast is over or while you're listening to it, and what Ray has done, thank you, Ray, he's typed in the address that you guys see at the bottom there, www.vectorvest.com/TLP. So for $22.95, you get all 6 months. Oh, by the way, I'm sorry, let me make this very clear. When you register, you will have immediate access to the VectorVest University. You will get immediate access to the course. What does that mean for you? That means you are able to watch all the modules right away, and all of the mastery sessions that Steve and I did a few months back. You'll get to see all the live trading session as well. You'll see all the homework assignment videos. You'll get all the resources. You will have everything to consume before our first mastery session, and I'll talk about the date in a second. That's so different than our old delivery method of courses where you have to wait each week for a new module. You can consume it all at once. Okay, and it's not just the 6 modules and you'll have to wait for the mastery sessions when we do them live. You get the old recordings as well, and that's all in the university now. So for $22.95, you get all 6 modules, all 6 live mastery support sessions, the scans, the Master the Art of Candlestick Analysis webcast series, VectorVest Real Time if you don't already have it, and that automated RSI2 trading system that has produced 93% winning trades over the last 10 years. And by the way, this is 100% money back guaranteed. So after you go through the course, right, you've watched all the modules, you've watched all the mastery sessions, you've done all the homework assignments, you've watched the live trading session, and we know if you do or not, by the way. So if you do all that stuff, and at the end, you say, you know, I haven't learned anything here. I want my money back. We'll give you your money back. Now, we're going to take those searches away and we're going to take the trading system away, but we'll give you your money back, no questions asked. We're very confident that you guys are going to become better traders in 7 weeks. I said it's not going to happen overnight, and it's not. And, you know, even after 7 weeks, your education isn't over. It's going to take some work after that. I'm going to give you guys my email address here. It's Jerry D, Jerry, D as in David, at VectorVest.com. So your education doesn't end 7 weeks from when we start this course. You'll have my email address. You have it now. You'll have Steve's email address as well. And I get emails all the time from former students of the Trade Like a Pro course saying, hey, Jerry, what do you think of this stock for the Holy Grail setup? Is it a good setup? What do you think? And I'll give you my insights. I'll let you know if it's a good setup or not, and if it's not, I'll explain why. All right, so it doesn't end in 7 weeks. Now, here are the dates for the live mastery support sessions. Our first live mastery support session is October 14th. Okay, they're going to be on Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Notice there are 6 live mastery support sessions. Now, I told you that you can consume all of the information, all of the modules before our first mastery support session. You have plenty of time to do that. However, on the 14th, we are going to cover content from module 1. We're not going to be jumping around and talking about the 50-50 on the 14th. Okay, so we're going to take things slow in these mastery sessions and only cover the content that was discussed in that module. The live trading session is the following week after that 6th mastery session. It's going to be November 24th at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. I know we start early, an hour before the market opens, and those of you guys on the West Coast, that's even worse, even rougher, right? Than waking up at 6 or 6:30 before, right as the market opens. But there's a lot of work that needs to be done before the market opens. I said that this session will cover market analysis. We'll run all the scans. So if we're bullish on the market, for example, we will run the bullish scans. We'll run the Holy Grail. We'll run the 50-50. We'll run the 80 Excellence. We'll run the RSI2. And we're going to go through the charts. Okay, we'll go through the charts and we'll say, okay, this one looks good. We're going to trade this one today. If the market follows through, if the stock confirms. So you're going to understand exactly what you're doing. You know, if the market does this, this is what you're going to do. If the market does this, this is what you're going to do. Okay? All right, guys. Thank you guys for being here. I want to thank Ray for being here as well to answer any questions that you guys have. I will stick around for a few more minutes. If you guys have any questions, I will go ahead and answer them. But again, my email address is jerryd@vectorvest.com. jerry@d@vectorvest.com. D as in David. You're welcome, guys. Oh, man. Awesome. Glad you thought that was interesting. You're welcome. I look forward to working with you guys. This is my favorite course to teach. I teach a lot of trading courses here at VectorVest. This is my favorite course to teach. Steve will say the same thing. This has been our favorite course to teach. You know, there are different, I guess, factions, I guess, in the education department at VectorVest. We have our options department, so to speak, or we have guys that really do a great job with our option courses. And you know, we have our swing trading faction, and Steve and I are a big part of that, and we love this stuff. We're traders ourselves. We love teaching this stuff, so we really look forward to working with you guys. A couple of questions here. RSI stands for Relative Strength Index, Richard. Oh yeah, thank you. Somebody said remember the slides. Good thing you reminded me. All right, in a moment I'm going to drop in the TL. It's going to be a PDF. It's going to be called TLP. And you guys should see it now. Okay, you should see it now. Yeah, John, there are systems for shorting stocks as well. All right, thank you guys. Yep, you got those slides in there. So in the handout section of your GoToMeeting control panel, you should say it's a PDF. It says TLP. Just click on it. It'll download. It'll open up right away. You're welcome. Yeah, Brian wants to know how to use the VectorVest system for longer term stock buys, buy and hold indicators on the VectorVest platform. Give our support department a call, Brian. That's an entirely different kind of approach that we talked about here today. But give our support department a call, and they will, you know, answer any questions you have in terms of that, walk you through, guide you on what to look for in terms of longer term investments, which indicators to look at, things like that. All right, guys. You guys enjoy the rest of your evening. 7 o'clock here on the East Coast. Enjoy your night. Okay, so Bala says, you mentioned there is pre-built systems you were going to drop in. What is it called? Yeah, sure. It's going to be be called a Trade Like a Pro. Let me, I'll show you guys real quick. So it's going to look like this in the Unisearch tool. It's going to say Trade Like a Pro webcast series, and it's going to say October, November of 2020. I'll be creating a new folder in my program, and that'll be automatically inserted into your program. So it's going to say Trade Like a Pro webcast series, October, November 2020. That's what it will look like. Good question, William. William says, an elite pricing. Yeah, elite pricing is half off the regular price, so it's $1497.50. $1497.50 for the elite rate. All right, folks. All right, guys. Enjoy your evening. Sweet dreams. Good night. We'll see everybody again next week. Take care, everybody.